Good afternoon, fellow vaqueros. I'm Ramiro Gonzalez, and this is UTRGV News.
Music Studio.
With the idea of gun ban laws due to the recent New Zealand shooting, what is to come of RGV community's daily lives? Here is Michael Martinez with the story.
Karen Barrios relies on her second form of income by shooting wild hog with her family in Kingsville. Although a ban on rifles wouldn't affect her drastically, she says it could cost ranchers.
Because they wouldn't be able to keep their cattle safe in that sense.
Recently, protesters across the United States have been urging lawmakers to follow New Zealand in banning assault rifles after a mass shooting occurred at a mosque. A debate banning assault rifles has been going on for years after numerous mass shootings across the country. UTRGV political science professor Andrew Smith says changing the laws is not as simple as it seems.
And given the current composition of the Supreme Court, I just don't believe, based on the observable voting patterns and so forth, that there are enough justices that would uphold, certainly not uphold a federal assault weapon ban.
The president of Students for Beto, a Rio Grande Valley organization, suggests ways the U.S. can prevent mass shootings from happening.
If we can do anything to try to prevent these types of crimes, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to more security screening, it should also encompass the limitations being put on being able to buy semi-automatic and automatic rifles.
In the meantime, Karen will still be using her rifles to hunt hog and says it's all up to the people to control gun violence.
I do strongly believe that it's not the problem of the weapon, it's the issues that a person has within.
Reporting for UTRGV TV, I'm Michael Martinez.
In other news, the tragedy of the recent mass shooting in New Zealand has affected change in their gun laws, as well as RGV students impacted by this ordeal. Miriam Guzman reports from this location.
All across the world, communities are coming together to mourn and honor the lives of 50 people. The victims were killed in the deadliest mass shooting in New Zealand history on March 15. The last mass shooting in New Zealand was more than 2 decades ago.
In 1990, there was a mass shooting. I think it was 13 people were killed, including, I think, the gunman eventually. As it is for all the people in New Zealand, it's a huge shock.
To commemorate New Zealand and the people affected by the shooting, the RGV Muslim Student Association held a vigil at the university's Edinburgh campus, and what Muslim Association Secretary Fariha Ahmad called the first step to fight against hatred.
You should always make every effort to learn about all the different people. So there's a lot of mystery when you talk about Islam, and people often don't realize that it's just like any other religion.
A week after the shooting, New Zealand's Prime Minister announced, quote, New Zealand will ban all military-style semi-automatic weapons, end quote. A change young people want to see in their own government.
I feel that in the U.S., guns should be allowed. The people should have the right to bear arms, but only certain ones used for certain things. But having a gun that can be used to kill multiple people in a very quick amount of time should not be allowed. We should stand up and make a change.
To help the community affected by the attack, donations are available and needed to those individuals, families, or the 2 mosques in the FundMe pages. Give a Little and more organizations. For Vaquero News, I am Miriam Guzman reporting.
The College of Science is planning to merge with the UTRGV health clinics to provide better services to students.
The School of Medicine and Health Clinic is set to merge by the end of this year. The UTRGV Health Clinic is currently a part of the auxiliary services under Finance and Administration. After 3.5 years of the School of Medicine being a part of the campus, Director of Health Services Rick Gray explains why the merge is happening.
They have a synergy between the two. We're a medical facility, a healthcare facility, and that's the whole focus of life with the School of Medicine is healthcare.
Gray tells UTRGV Radio the School of Medicine has grants that can pay for specialty devices that can provide services that have not been provided before.
Hopefully they have things that we can expand and pair with One of the things that's coming is one of their facilities they're building nearby is going to have a radiology suite in it.
The merging of the School of Medicine and the UT RGV Health Clinics will provide benefits to both departments.
Then just having another site to use as an educational opportunity for different folks in their program.
There still is no set date for the merge of the School of Medicine and the UT RGV Health Clinic. UT RGV TV will keep you up to date on what is to come.
The mid-semester break is a time to get away and clear your mind. But for some UT RGV students, it can also bring distractions.
As we know, college students have a week of vacation called spring break, in which most of them go to the beach to relax and feel stress-free. UTRGV students say this is not always good. Sometimes it can affect them with their classes and the assignments they have due.
Spring break does affect the university, I feel like sometimes in a negative way. I know it also contributes in a positive way, but I feel more towards a negative only because we do have a week off, we go to the beach, we go on vacation, and then having to come back and study and catch up on all our homework and all our assignments can sometimes be either confusing or we can actually forget what was due. So having to actually go back and recap on what was due.
There is also students who meet with their professors before or after the break. They say they use this time wisely in order to complete everything in which they need to catch up.
It gives me a time to practice on my homework, my studying, and to catch up.
The university takes a big part of their students being successful in having a great semester. They have different activities like workshops, giving free food around campus, or selling cheap food combos for the students to have a great time during breaks or in between classes.
Help them develop schedules for their work and for their downtime for when they're on spring break. So in that week before we leave, we'll plan out what work they can do, maybe a little bit of reading each day, or maybe on that weekend before they come back, of what they're going to work on so that that week after spring break, they're ready to get back into it.
In order for students to be efficient in their classes, experts recommend for them to have a follow-up schedule before and after spring break. Reporting for UTRGV, Cecilia Castañeda.
Sticking to the spring season, all the constant cold fronts and rain coming in during what's supposed to be a hot and sunny time keeps people in the Rio Grande Valley on their toes with the cold and wet days. Juanita Maldonado has the scoop.
March is finally here, and usually in the Rio Grande Valley during this time, the weather is already pretty warm, hot, people are wearing shorts and short sleeves. But unfortunately, the weather is not how we would like it to be. We're still expecting some cool fronts, there's actually currently some rain. So what is going on with this weather change? Stay tuned to find out.
During this time last year, temperatures ranged from mid-80s to high 90s. Fast forward to this year and the temperatures have dropped to the 70s. The weather change has brought a drop in temperature, cool fronts, and even some rain. UTRGV students are also voicing their opinion on this drastic weather change, including junior biology major Maria Mendoza.
During this time around last year, it wasn't this cloudy or fresh because it feels pretty fresh right now, and it was more like hot and warm and the sun was out, so I think it's kind of odd.
What is causing the weather change? Should we be concerned? We interviewed Chief Meteorologist from KRGV News Channel 5, Tim Smith, to find out more.
A lot of things causing weather patterns to change. It can be a big buildup of cold air, for example, around the Arctic or in Siberia. That starts to move, and that causes a buckle in the jet stream. When the jet stream buckles, weather changes, and it changes a lot of times all over North America, and that can lead to an unusually cold or warm period. Depends on where it comes into the country. This winter's been a lot different than last winter. The spring has been a lot different in terms of, it's cool into March and April, which is a little bit unusual, but it's not unprecedented. We're not setting records for the most part. We're just having an unusually cool spring, and a lot of that is attributed to an El Nino weather pattern, which creates a cloudier pattern and brings more light rain and drizzle.
Although it is officially spring, cold fronts and rainy days will still be expected in the days to come. To better prepare yourself, it is advised to always carry an umbrella and or jacket in your vehicle. Reporting from Edinburgh, I am Juanita Maldonado.
Although Texas proves to be an all-summer state, that does not stop these students from getting into the spring spirit. Eric Webster has a story.
Springtime was in the air at the Edinburgh Student Union Thursday, where a large gathering of students were able to create vibrant flower crowns in celebration of the coming of spring.
I like the idea of being girly and playing with flowers and making my own headband. It was appreciating in a new way.
Students were encouraged to get as creative and colorful as possible in making their springtime flower crowns. The student union provided a variety of flowers, headbands, and other materials to help the students get started.
I say it was pretty free and open, and you could just do whatever you wanted, whatever you liked. I liked that my friends were here, and it felt like a positive vibe, and it was fun.
But it wasn't all fun and games at the student union. From gathering materials to setting up tables, a lot of work had to be done to help make Flower Day successful. We talked to Carlos Avila, manager of the student union, to find out just what had to happen to make Flower Day successful.
There's events that we do monthly. There's events like this that we do to commemorate a certain date of the year. But yeah, like we try them out. If they work, if the students like them, we keep doing them.
For UTRGV TV, I'm Eric Webster, reminding you to stop and smell the roses.
That's your daily scoop for UTRGV News. I'm Ramiro Gonzalez, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.